I'm an Arctic junkie. I love all things Arctic.
Really?
Huge.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, it doesn't?
No, not at all.
Outdoors guy who likes to go camping in November?
Yes. Weird.
Well, I'm not alone. Cory Trepanier is also an Arctic junkie, and he likes to go into the Arctic with his painting supplies and come back with some beautiful arts of work. Welcome to the show, Cory.
Thank you. Great to be here.
The documentary is called Into the Arctic 2. Therefore, that would mean there was an Into the Arctic 1. How did I miss this?
Well, it's all part of a project I started in 2006 to paint the Arctic. And when I looked at the map of the Arctic, I realized this is kind of a big place. There's no way I can do this in one shot. So I divided the Arctic up into 3 big zones: the Western Arctic, the Eastern Arctic, and the High Arctic. It's like a big triangle on the map. Made sense. So in 2006, I went to the Western Arctic with my wife and my daughters, who were 7 and 11 years old. And we didn't come back to my home in Caledon for 2.5 months. That led to Into the Arctic 1, because we filmed our journey, and it's been on a number of channels since then.
Right.
Into the Arctic 2, the sequel, is from my month I spent on Baffin Island, and another month I spent on Ellesmere Island, and other places in the South Central Arctic, for a total of about 3 months in about a dozen locations. But because of the nature of traveling the Eastern Arctic and the High Arctic, the kids couldn't come, sleeping with a shotgun because of polar bears, crossing glacial rivers.
Oh my goodness.
Traveling with Inuit guys in a boat through, ice pack and stuff. You kind of say, I'm really glad the kids aren't here on this one.
So it sounds like you're actually working your way up to the High Arctic. You started with the a little more accessible Western Arctic, now Baffin and Ellesmere, and it sounds like Into the Arctic 3 is going to be your real challenge.
Well, there is no Into the Arctic 3. Because in the Into the Arctic 2, the month on Ellesmere, I was actually right up at the top. I spent a month at about 500 miles from the North Pole. It was Lake Hazen at the very northern tip of Ellesmere Island. And so it was up there and covered a great distance. So now that I've got the 3 major trips done, I made a 90-minute film from these 2, which will be playing later on here this Friday night at the Highland. However, it's also going to be on TV, but there's nothing quite like sharing this place on the big screen with people, because most will never get there.
And you are sharing it with us through your beautiful pieces of work. My goodness,
Thank
you
you.
are talented.
Where are these from? What are we looking at?
Oh, this one here is from Ahiwetuk National Park on Baffin Island. This one here is from Oliver Sound, actually at the northern tip of Baffin Island. Parks Canada were a huge help. They brought me around to a number of places across the north. This here is actually from way up on Ellesmere Island. That's Lake Hazen. And what's amazing is a number of these places, especially when you get into Ellesmere and some of the other more remote places, have never been painted before.
Really?
And so it's a real privilege to get out into that kind of solitude and to experience that, and then to try to bring it back. But I can't paint everything, and so that's why I started turning these into films as well.
Are there specific challenges trying to paint in the Arctic?
Well, that painting in particular, where I was standing, I was being eaten alive by mosquitoes, some of the most horrendous mosquitoes I'd ever encountered. And then there's the challenges of just getting around. Because I start my paintings on location, I actually have my easel in my backpack, and it weighs about 25 pounds with all the gear and my panels. Then I add all the other stuff to it. I add my camping gear, the food, and then 2 HD camcorders, as well as tripods, glide tracks, and all this filming equipment. So one of the biggest challenges was walking around.
Right.
I can
But
only imagine.
dealing with wildlife was another issue. Polar bears, we encountered a number of them, fortunately from safe distance, but probably about 10. And Arctic wolves that surrounded our tent at one point on Ellesmere while my brother and I were getting ready to turn in for the night. My brother Carl, by the way, he joined me for a month on Ellesmere. The 2 of us lived in this little tent, and he can't wait to go back out again. So it was a good brotherhood thing.
Wow, I was going to say 2 brothers in a tent together for a month with a shotgun. That can't come out well. But this is, your paintings are just, they're so vivid. They're so, I feel, you know what? I feel like I'm there.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's the big goal for me. When I'm painting, what inspires me is I paint what inspires me first. And then when it's all said and done, it's my hope that other people can somehow get a taste of that experience through my work.
Okay, tell us a little bit about the show itself, about the documentary. It's playing at the Highland Cinema, coming up on Friday, December 2nd. Is there a charge for it?
Yes, it's a $20 ticket, and we've partnered with the Arts Project here in London, who will be receiving $5 from each ticket sold. They're also going to be involved with the evening. We're giving them an opportunity to use our event as a platform to share a bit more with local people about what they do. Their name will be on the big screen, saying a few words, and tickets are available through our website. That's the best way to get them, at intothearcticfilm.com, where people can also watch the trailer. And actually, I just came back from Iqaluit from 2 screenings last week.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
We look forward to it.
I'm really looking forward to this film, Cory.
Well, thank you. Appreciate
Thank you
your time.
very much.